I have them on the phone right now. Rifletown on the air right now. How's it going? Good, good. Thanks for being on the show. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thanks for us.
So, I like to do a roll call before we get to the questions. So, who's on the phone right now? So, state your name and what role do you play on the band? Who like to go first?
All right. You just wanted me representing the group. They're all running around and busy. If I'd take the responsibility tonight, and I said I didn't mind. So I'm Mason McCord, and I do lead vocals. I play rhythm guitar. I play banjo.
Okay, Mason. Well, great to have you on, man. And shout out to the rest of the band. I've
Thank you.
heard you fellas on radio. Yeah, I made an appearance there. Shout out to my good friend Renee Collins Cobb and Warren Cobb, good friends of mine. And I saw the show, I guess, from the internet, and I was blown away. I'm like, wow,
Uh,
what are these
thanks so much. I appreciate that.
very talented people? How did this band got together? How did it came to be?
Well, we're all from Winchester, Kentucky, and two of the members, Jason, he also plays some rhythm guitar, and Colin Wallace, he plays bass and does. Those two played together in a band years ago called Velvet Water. So they had musical experience together. They've been playing music together for 20 plus years. They were already really well acquainted. And then me and the lead guitar player, Randon Urig, we played together in a band previously. And the drummer, he hadn't played with us, but he's from Winchester as well. His name's Tyler Montgomery. We're all music around the local area, and we just get together and do something right from the hometown.
Awesome, awesome. I'm on the Facebook fan page right now, and I like the description. And the description is a folk band born where the Appalachian hills kiss the bluegrass. That is quite the description of the band.
Isn't that cool? Yeah, that's Tyler Montgomery, the drummer. That's his wording, and he's really talented when it comes to that sort of thing. He has a magazine called Brewer Magazine. He's really into craft beer.
Hmm.
So he's got some experience writing up cool bits like that.
That's awesome. So I got a new music on the way, a debut album, I believe. And it's y'all gonna have to y'all celebrating the release later next month in your hometown of Winchester. Um, if you are able to talk about this album, what can people expect?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so the release later on next month, right there in Winchester. It made a lot of sense to have the release of the first album in Winchester, because that's it's a lot of where our friends and family are at. Not, of course, not all of them by any stretch, but a lot of them. And the city's been very good to us. It's been very welcoming, and it's the city's definitely made some efforts to help us get cool shows and play for lots of people, and we appreciate that. As far as the release goes, we're going to release our first album, 9-track album. Recorded the album with Dwayne Lundy over at Lexington Recording Company, and that was a great experience. All the musicians that might be listening, if you're thinking about where to go to have an album, I definitely check with Dwayne. He's great. He really puts together a welcoming environment and really just has a world of knowledge. But anyway, we got that 9-track album, and we're gonna play it in its entirety and kind of talk a little about the songs and where the songs came from and how they ended up on our album altogether.
So y'all can join the celebration for Rifletown on their self-titled debut album. It will be at 8 o'clock at Woody's Sports Bar and Grill at Winchester, Kentucky. And there is no cover price, just show up and get there early, because a night like that for our album release, it is going to be packed. So you get there pretty early for sure.
Absolutely, yeah.
So for you, Mason, who do you consider like some of your musical influences, regardless of the genre? It could be independent, it could be mainstream, local. Like, who are some of your musical influences?
Okay. Some of mine, Sam of Iron and Wine is one of my big influences. I've been following his music for years, and he just got away with words. He's a great songwriter. He's one of my favorite lyricists. I'm a big fan of Jason Isbell. He's one of my favorite songwriters. Another one that used to be local, another of my favorite songwriters, but has now moved on to the big stage, is Tyler Childers. He just writes beautiful songs, and he's a great performer. And then the Avett Brothers are, another big act that I've been following for over a decade, and I just love their stuff. I love all the energy they bring to the stage, and just all the happiness they bring to the stage. You go and see the Avett Brothers, you can just tell how much fun they're having, and I really appreciate that when I'm watching a live band.
That is always a good thing. Like when the band is enjoying themselves, then the fans will enjoy it with them. See that passion. I just became a fan of the Avett Brothers just last year, and they were at Web Arena last year. I missed out on it. I know some of my friends were there. As for Tyler is a big time. I really enjoy his music. I saw him at Whalebird Festival last year, and the crowd was packed. That was a big crowd, and so he's definitely made a name for himself, and he's definitely making Kentucky proud. I mean, dude was on late night television doing songs like for Jimmy Fallon and Seth Meyers. I'm like, dude, yeah, a guy. People act like Kentucky is just known for bourbon, horses, and basketball, which is true, but Kentucky is more than that. So, like that, get on that big platform, and he's nominated for tomorrow night's Grammy Awards. So,
no, that's super cool, and he's just, I've been following music in the folk and country, Americana for a long time, and Tyler, he writes some of the most honest songs I've ever heard. As a person, from Kentucky, so some of that appeal is based on that alone, but he writes super honest songs, in every word, and that's really happy to see Kentucky boy doing so well. It might interest you, being a Tyler, and he's playing a couple of Avett Brothers this year, out in the Midwest, in the Arizona and Kansas area.
Oh, okay, that's awesome. I also see that Tyler's going to be at Web Arena with Sturgill Simpson. That's coming up next month. So, Lexington people, go Tyler out if you haven't already. You won't be disappointed. If you are into that music, he's your guy. Sturgill Simpson doing good things as well. Rifletown, and will this album be available on the platforms as well? Like, obviously you got the CD copies, but will this also be on the music platforms?
So the morning of the the album will go live on Spotify, iTunes, Apple Music, pretty much all the major streaming platforms. So it'll be available if folks would like to catch it there digitally.
So self-titled album from White, it will be available on the same day of album release, on the 29th. You get morning, it'll pop up on your Spotify feeds, and go check that out. Enjoy the music, get familiar with the album sounds like, and then later on that evening you go to Woody's Sports Bar and Grill and go check out Rifletown, and they will perform the album in its entirety for the first time ever. So go out, support local music. I've been going to shows in Lexington, Frankfort, Georgetown, Lawrenceburg, pretty much all over central Kentucky except for Winchester. So you guys might be the first act that I go in Winchester. It's not that far off a drive. I live in Lexington, so about a good 20 miles, 20-minute drive from there. So I definitely will.
Yeah, not too bad. We'd be happy to see you. Idea what some homegrown music sounds like.
For sure. So where can people check out Rifletown on social media as far as Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, or any other links out there?
Gotcha. Yeah, we're on Facebook at facebook.com/Rifletown. We're on the World Wide Web. Our web address is www.rifletownky.com. We're on Instagram as Rifletown. You can check it out there as well. And for any questions of any sort, we're available on Gmail. That's rifletownky@gmail.com if anybody's interested in booking or just general questions, whatever it may be.
Absolutely. And before I let you go, Mason, I've always been curious as to meaning behind the band's name or stage name. What made y'all name yourselves?
Gotcha. So we're a little indecisive when it comes to anything, like I think most bands are. We have a hard time making a decision. But we thought about band names for probably a week or two, but couldn't come up with anything that we were super happy with. And eventually someone pitched Rifletown as the band name. Now, Winchester's been called Rifletown for a long time because of the name. It reminds people of the Winchester rifle. It's kind of how we ended up with it. Winchester, Rifletown.
Gotcha. In all the years I've lived in central Kentucky, I did not know that. So
that's good then. That's what I like to hear.
That's the good thing about life. You learn something new every day.
Absolutely.
So, Mason, man, great chatting with you. Thank you so much for being on the show. I look forward to and hopefully if I ain't got no plans that night, I'll head on to Winchester and check you out in person.
That sounds great. Thanks so much for having us and for chatting.